What's up, YouTube? Chad here with our beer review to BJCP Specs. We're moving on to category 14, Scottish Ale, and for that, I've got Belhaven Scottish Ale, rich, nutty, smooth, from Dunbar, Scotland, 5.2 ABV. So we gotta have a quick history lesson here before we even get into the style guidelines and all that stuff. So, Scottish Ale, when you think of like 60, 70, 80 shillings or whatever, you know, the numbers are on there, it's kind of similar like the British bitter where you have, you know, best bitter or original bitter, best bitter, you know, extra special bitter or whatever. Very similar. In fact, I actually make a point of saying here in the introduction to like this category, it says, historically, the three types of beer were party guile, the different strengths and representative adaptation of English pale ales with reduced strengths and hopping rates and darker colors, often from added caramel. More modern versions tended to use more complex crisps. The Scottish light, heavy, and export guidelines read nearly the same for each style of beer. As the gravity increases, so does the character of the beers in question. So we have to skip 14A and 14B for now because you can't get a bottle or a can of any of those styles in America, at least not in Florida where I live. So we're moving on to 14C, Scottish export. Overall impression, a malt-focused, generally caramelly beer with perhaps a few esters and occasionally a butterscotch aftertaste. Hops only to balance and support the malt. The malt character can range from dry and grainy to rich, toasty, and caramelly, but is never roasty, and especially never has a peat smoke character. All right, so we'll continue with the 14C. It's interesting because they have a comments and characteristic ingredients section, but no history, just because the history is under like the whole category introduction. So comments, malt-focused ales that gain the vast majority of their character from specialty malts, never the process. Burning malt or wort sugars via caramel caramelization is not traditional, nor is any blatantly butterscotch character. Most frequently a draft product, smoke character is inappropriate as any found traditionally would have come from the peat in the source water. Scottish ales with smoke character should be entered as a classic style smoke. Vitals, 15 to 30 IBU, so not too bitter, 13 to 22 SRM, you know, not too dark, and 3.96% ABV. All right, so this bottle's been sitting out for a while. Let's go get this in a glass and get to review it. All right, so we got the Belhaven Scottish Ale in the tulip glass here. Let's get right into the aroma. So yeah, it's has like kind of like a general British quality. Like the first thing I smell is like kind of those yeast esters. You know, brown malt, nothing like they said, nothing roasty. There is a sweetness to it. I don't think I'd go as far as to say butterscotch caramel. Yeah, okay, but it's fairly light. Little kind of a fruitiness in there. As far as hops, I think the Belhaven, they said they use Challenger and Golding, you know, classic British hops. Just maybe like really low floral earthy thing. Nothing spicy, nothing citrusy. Not a bad smelling beer, you know, pretty good. All right, so let's check specs. Aroma, low to medium maltiness, often with flavors of toasted breadcrumbs, lady fingers, and English biscuits. Okay. Low to medium caramel and low butterscotch is allowable, but not required. Light palm fruitiness in best examples. Yeah, I really don't get any apple. Well, like red apple, not green apple. May have low traditional English hop aroma, earthy floral, orange citrus, spicy, etc. Peat smoke is inappropriate. I don't know, I mean, obviously this is one of the commercial examples of the style, but I'm not getting like a ton of what they're saying here, but I mean, it's certainly in the ballpark. I'll say 9 for aroma. Appearance, well, classic Scottish style. I mean, it's kind of like a mahogany, I guess, yeah. I'm not sure how this looks on camera, but holding up to the sunlight here, or what's close, yeah, it's like a straight kind of brown, like caramel color. It's actually really pretty. It's, you know, slightly hazy. Had a pretty decent head on there. I put about 17 to 22 SRM. Good looking beer. Let's check the specs on appearance. Appearance, pale copper to very dark brown. Clear, low to moderate, creamy off-white head. All right, so it's, you know, perfect as far as that goes. So going to give it the full 3 out of 3 on appearance. Flavor, here's the best part. Cheers. It's kind of like the Scottish equivalent of an ESB. Getting that kind of brown malt, a little bit of caramel flavor, a little bit of, you know, like biscuity malt, a little caramel. I would not say butterscotch, certainly no diacetyl. It does have a little bit of that red apple in there. That's, again, like yeast esters. Now that I'm paying attention to it, I do pick up like a little bit, very, very little. I mean, I noticed it. A little spicy, earthy hops. As far as peat smoke, I'm not getting any of that. I mean, maybe what that spicy, earthy thing is might be like real faint trace amount of whatever peat was in the water, but it's not. I would not call this a smoky beer by any means. Yeah, so it's malty, but it's not. I would not call this a sweet beer. It's just malty. It's malt balanced or malt forward, I guess you'd call it. But I mean, it's only 5.2. It's certainly not a. It's certainly not a Wee Heavy or a Doppelbock or something like that. It's just, it's a malty, fairly sessionable, like maybe like what you call like a pub style beer. Like I could definitely drink a half liter of this, no problem. So yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see how it goes for the specs. Flavor, entirely malt focused, with flavors ranging from pale, bready malt with caramel overtones to rich toasty malt with roasted accents, but never roasty. All right, so I'd say the first half of that sentence. Or a combination thereof. No, more for the beginning. Fruity esters are not required, but add depth, yet are never high. Yeah, has a little bit of the appley thing there. It does add depth. It's definitely not high. Hop bitterness to balance the malt, true. No to low hop flavor is also allowed and should be traditional English character. Earthy, floral, orange spicy, or orange citrus spicy, etc. Yeah, so like I said, slightly earthy, slightly spicy, but again, they are quite low. Finish ranges from rich and malty to to dry and grainy. I would agree with the second half of that. A subtle butterscotch character is acceptable, however, burnt sugars are not. The malt hop balance tilts toward malt. That's exactly what I said. Peat smoke is inappropriate. True. There's no peat smoke in here. So, it doesn't seem to be, as far as the aroma went, like it didn't really seem to be like a super great example of it. But as far as the flavor goes, I mean, it's right there. I'm gonna be pretty generous here. I'm gonna say 18. That might be. Yeah, I mean that's really generous, but mouthfeel. I put about a medium body, medium low carbonation. Pretty smooth. It's got enough carbonation, like give it a little bit of a tingle. It's a little refreshing while it's in the mouth. It is not a thick, sticky, syrupy bomb. That's your Wee Heavies and your Scotch ales and barley ones and stuff like that. This is, again, like I said, it's more like a pub style, almost sessionable beer. Let's check the specs. Mouthfeel, medium low to medium body, true. Low to moderate carbonation, true. Can be relatively rich and creamy to dry and grainy, true. All right, so it's right there for everything. Kind of torn between a 4 and a 5 on this. I'll go 4 since I was so generous with the flavor. Overall impression, I'm gonna say 9. Total score 43 out of 50. Yeah, seems about right. I don't know how fresh this bottle is because I used just a wacky, bottling code and not an actual date on it. But seems to be pretty fresh to me. So yeah, there you go. 43 out of 50 for Belhaven Scottish Ale. If you want a good Scottish ale, this is really readily available pretty much anywhere in the United States, as far as I know. It's just the gamble is how fresh it's going to be. So that's about all I got to say about this beer. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.